Ah, Gina, good, you're back. Eh. The police must have finished questioning her then. Oh, how was it, Ginny? Was it awful? Eh? Oh, didn't bother me. Thank you for the papers you signed before. It meant we were able to investigate at Windy Banks. Oh, right. Don't you want to know how we got on? You don't know how we got on? You've been ever so busy. What's the point asking? Won't change what everyone's saying. That I did it. That's not... Gina, we came to ask for your final decision. Eh? What decision? About tomorrow's trial. Will you let me defend you or not? Let's submit the paperwork now if you'd like Mr. Naruhodo to represent you. Right, I see. You really lost your fight all of a sudden. I know what that feeling's like. That worry is just so hard to bear. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, we didn't come. Oh, alright then. Blimey, give it a rest, will you, these eyes, Iris? Come on then, fill us in. Who done it? Fortunately, we don't know that yet. You don't say. You don't know yet, Gina. Mr. Naruhodo and all of us know that you are innocent of this crime. Know that you are innocent of this crime. While we haven't yet managed to work out who the real culprit is, there are a number of interesting facts that we have managed to establish. Well, yeah? Like what? Well, for example, the reason for you being there in the first place. I think I know why you broke into Windy Banks that night. Oh my god, am I right? So you're gonna get some evidence to clearly reveal the reason and thrust it in Gina's face, or I could present it to her calmly, I suppose. She totally went there to check for Iris, didn't she? Oh my god. Oh, you're so sweet. Don't you dare. We already have the representation papers and other documents we need. All we have to do is hand it to them in the court clerk. That is, if you'll allow me to represent you in court tomorrow. Nah, don't bother. Ginny, wrap them up and chuck them, would you? And them representation papers, or whatever they called. They still ain't fancy enough to have a bin. So, what will you do in court tomorrow? I'm fine on me own. I don't think you will be. Look, it don't matter. What's gotta happen is gonna happen. One stubborn pickpocket. Tina, no, you did it for Iris, didn't you? You found this in Mr. Windybank's storeroom. A manuscript of Iris's latest story. Eh. Oh, right. Well, that's good then. Seriously, the storeroom at Windybanks showed no sign of being ransacked for items or value or the like. One exception. Oh, excuse me. The box file that housed the manuscript. It was you, wasn't it, Gina, who broke open the box containing the manuscript last night? Eh? You were determined to find out whether or not the Hound of the Baskervilles was really there. That's the real reason you broke into the storeroom last night, isn't it? Huh? Why don't you tell us what happened? Please, my dogs are going off. They're really ruining the moment. Alright, yeah. Here's Baskerville's story. The latest Sholmes adventure, right? But it ain't been printed yet. I figured it's gotta be worth a fair few pieces of silver, right? No, you wouldn't do that to Iris. Oh yes, at least 5,000 pounds. What? So, you intend to sell Iris's manuscript, did you? No, Ginny, how could you? What? Wait, no, hang on. Of course I wasn't gonna sell it. All I want to do is find out if the manuscript or whatever you call it, really was there or not. That's the only reason I was in that place. For Iris' sake. Isn't that right? Ah! We knew why you've done it for the start, Gina. Of course we did. But I knew you wouldn't do anything mean like that, Jeannie. I just knew it. Well, when I saw the manuscript in the storeroom, it reminded me of what you said that night before. Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefaced liars, a lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. I'm telling you, that mantle script ain't at Winniebank's. You'll soon see if you add a look. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. I mean, that's something I wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Oh, Jeannie, that's what's so sweet of you. Alright. I'll tell you what I did. Just stop looking at me like that, Iris. It weren't because of Iris. That's not why I did it. I just wanted to know the truth, that's all. You wanted to know if Mr. Sholmes was being honest? If he really deposited the manuscript at Windybanks? Like I told you the night before. I never had a father. Iris is a lot like ain't like me. She got her dad, only she can't see him. I reckon that's gotta be harder. That's why she writes her stories. They're about her dad, really. Or what it sounded like to me anyways, last night when I was listening to what you were saying. Stories about Daddy. I mean, not the adventures of a great detective. So much as the adventures of a great detective and his trusty part. I'm gonna cry. Well, that's how I see it, yeah. You're so thoughtful and so kind, Jeannie. Yes, and we never thought any different, did we? Look, give her a rest, will ya? I ain't got the chummy nonsense, do you? Yeah, I hate it. I don't trust no one, right? That's how it works, because if you don't trust no one can let you down. Leave me alone. Go on, Scarper. Your low-res hands won't stop me now. I didn't notice until now, but it's unmistakable. Right there on both sleeves of that overcoat. Some very suspicious red stains. Whoa, why are you looking at me like that? I think it might be worth presenting some of our other findings in that area to Gina now. Oh, blood sample? The stains on the sleeves of your new coat, Gina. They're blood, aren't they? Not that I know whose blood yet. What? Blood, Mr. Naruhodo? You don't appear to have any obvious wounds yourself, though. But could it be that blood splattered from Mr. Windybanks when he was shot last night? Not beat around the bush here. This trusty friend of mine will give results much faster than anything else. Hey, take it easy, Iris. Don't move, Jeannie. Jeannie, I'm going to shoot. Purple. Interesting. Oh. Who was purple again? Okay. Ooh, thrice fired Mason. So this must have been the coat that he wore during the omnibus murder. Either Mr. McGilda did, or... yeah, Mr. McGilda did. Oh my! What the... Forget the sleeves. The whole coat is covered in blood. The whole coat is covered in blood. Of course. Blood color with the hue of the fabric was masking the stains. But we hadn't seen them until now. Blood had reacted with the chemical to turn a purple color with a hue. Which matches one of the samples we already collected perfectly. Yes, now let's see. Who had the purple blood? Aha, yes, it was the brickmaker Mr. Mason, the victim of the murder case 2 months ago. I knew it. What are you talking about? The victim? What do you mean? Dun, 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 dun. So, rather uncomfortable situation, Mr. Naruhodo, but I think that makes things quite clear. Because the omnibus case is finally solved. The truth about who really murdered the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, is revealed. Boy, let's not explain what's going on. Stop telling you half a story. Agnes McGilded. We can see now that the victim's blood is all over Mr. McGilded's overcoat. But in the trial 2 months ago, the defendant said this in his testimony. I ask yous, how did so when it rushed to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I was about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached over to give the man a hand. If you look at this overcoat now, it's clear. These stains couldn't have arisen from Mr. McGilded trying to pull the victim to his feet. No, if that was what really happened, the blood wouldn't have splashed all over the front of the coat. The only explanation for this pattern of blood was that it splattered over Mr. McGilded's coat when he stabbed the victim in the stomach. Dogs really be going off. Try to run from the truth from long enough. There's no escaping it now. The true culprit in that case, Mr. Mason's killer, was Magnus McGilded. As if we hadn't known that before. Naruhodo. Horrible case is solved at last. I helped a man walk free from that trial. I used all that twisted testimony and all that sham evidence to prove his innocence. How could I have let that happen? Bruno, did you believe him though? Did you believe Mr. McGilded was innocent? I believed. Rather, I think I was trying to believe. Wanted to. Because believing in those you represent in court is the defense lawyer's greatest weapon. Weapon? Billy got silent here. Before we came to Great Britain, a great friend of mine taught me a valuable lesson. You mean Kazumi-sama? Kazuma-sama? Listen, Ryunosuke. We lawyers are only human. We can't know for sure what is the truth and what is a lie. This is why we must resort to our primary weapon. An unwavering belief in our clients. That's all we really have. Wavering belief? Only when we truly believe what our clients tell us can we fight with everything we have for their cause. In any battle, there can be no victory without faith. So I believe you, unwaveringly. Unwaveringly. It's funny, Gina. Cool. Sounds like this Empire of Japan you come from. Everyone must be soft. Oh, come on, look at that mess that's gotten into you. Believing in that bog trotter, eh? Bog trotter. Yes, I inadvertently helped a murderer walk free. Well, at least you learned your lesson now, eh? Believing in people's never worth it. Someone's always stabs you in the back in the end. As soon as you let down your guard, you've had it. Take a life out of my butt. Believe no one. Get hurt by no one. Nina, may I ask you something? What? I'd just like to make absolutely sure. What would you like us to do with these representation papers for tomorrow's trial? How many times do I have to say it? Rip them up and chuck them away. You really sure that's what you want? I just want that's on all now. Mr. I'm a believer lawyer over there. Don't forget it was me in that trial 2 months ago. I let everyone up the garden path, didn't I? You're telling me you can just believe in me after that? Not likely. Not likely. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, lawyer's primary weapon is an unwavering belief in his clients. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not I feel I can trust Gina after everything that's happened. No doubt about it. Gina, let me say it again. Please allow me to represent you in tomorrow's trial. Eh? Are you half-baked? Not at all. You're not once admitted to committing the crime, have you? What's more, I believe that you're telling me the truth. Seriously, Mr. Naruhodo. Didn't you hear all what I just said before? I'm a born liar. Fibs just trip off me tongue. I'm a diver, don't forget. I pulled the wool over your eyes 2 months ago and got me in all sorts of trouble. Why would you ever trust me now? I just don't get it. Gina, I do understand why you've chosen not to put your trust in others. But I assure you, there's more to this life than you yet realize. What you mean? The world we live in is full of people you would do very well to trust. People who won't ever let you down. Eh? True that I'm just a student of law and I'm certain lacking in courtroom experience. But I can promise you this. Whatever happens, till my very last breath, I am completely on your side. What? What did you expect me to say to that? Oh, God. It's decided. I'll take these papers now and carry out the necessary preparations for tomorrow's trial. I'd be ashamed to throw them away now after it's been penned with your name so beautifully. Do what you like. You Eastern lot are... I don't know what you are. I don't get you. Wow, this case has turned a lot. Very good, very good. Gina's taking herself to the back of her cell. She never admitted it, but I hope she's feeling relieved. This turned out alright in the end, I think. Whoever's hiding there, show yourself at once. Eavesdropping is the height of cowardice. Suzuto. Somebody's in there in the shadows. I can sense it. Someone who wasn't there before. What? Blimey, you sharp, eh? Oh, Greg said. Suppose you were using one of those mystic Japanese arts, like the art of stealth I heard so much about. If anyone was being stealthy, it was you, Inspector. Grexy? Oh dear me, I'm most terribly sorry, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you. How long have you been listening to our conversation? Oh, grief, listening in? No. I just got word that there were some visitors who were refusing to leave even though it was after hours. I assure you, your ladyship, I only just arrived this very minute, not a moment earlier. That's all it is, nothing untoward, nothing at all. They're hours. Is that late already? So then, I'll humbly excuse myself now, your ladyship. Toodaloo, cheerio, all the best. Bye-bye, bye, and bye. A lot of farewells, and not one of them appropriate for her ladyship. Oh, I want to have a chat. I'm terribly sorry, but time is pressing at the moment. Oh, I see. That's a shame. If I don't get this emergency at the Supreme Court dealt with Sharpish, Lord Strongheart will, well, emergency? But Strongheart? Nothing. Forget what I said anything. Anyway, I'm off. Alright, Gexy. You have to. Let's chat soon. Delighted. Charmed. Can't wait. If you please. My pleasure. That's a lot of pleasantries, and not one of them sounded sincere. Gexy's so funny. He said so many such silly things. Certainly entertaining to see an inspector at the police fawning to a 10-year-old girl. But anyway, I wonder what this emergency is at the Supreme Court. That's so interesting. Must attend to the court clerk's office now before it closes. Yes, of course. Thank you, Miss Suzuto. Kindly escort Iris home now, Mr. Naruhodo. I shall meet you there later. Our investigation came to an end. Suzuto-san went to file the necessary papers for my defense of Gina the following day. Then it hit me. I can no longer suppress the wretched feeling that I have been gnawing at me at my insides. Tomorrow, Suzuto-san would be leaving Britain, making her way back to Japan. The 16th, 11:13 p.m. Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. Naruhodo-san, it's been a very trying day, hasn't it? I hope you're not too exhausted. What are you, Suzuto-san? What about you, Suzuto-san? It has been very more trying for you, I'm sure. Films were shot before her eyes. Gina was arrested. All at the back of the news that her father had fallen ill and that she must return to Japan at once. I hope your father recovers soon. Thank you for your kind words. I'm not ready for you to leave, Suzuto. Wonder why it is. And so many thoughts rage in my head like a storm. Yet, I seem unable to find the words to express any of them. I know exactly what you mean. Anyway, I have one final task to complete as your judicial assistant. Once that is done, I shall make a preparation for my departure tomorrow. One final task. Oh, please don't leave. Please don't leave, no. It's 2 months since we arrived in London. This is like when Maya left. I can't handle this. We managed to establish this office, and it was a great feeling as though we were settling in. I would be lying if I said I felt no regret. I'm so sorry, Suzuto-san. It's so sudden. I really don't know what to think. I had no time to gather my thoughts. I know we've been here for a short time, but limited experience of the courtroom, I feel I've learned something. And what would that be? Seems to me there are many facets to people's personalities. Facets? Like a jewel, the light plays off them in complex patterns, illuminating their actions and their motives. We only see a small amount of the total facets. What is illuminated is only a part of the whole story. It lies in the shadows. What do these facets we cannot see look like? Perhaps there are some parts we'll never lay eyes on for as long as we live. That's so true. Something I feel as though I'm blind to so much. I keep hoping that one day I'll become all clear. That all the facets will be illuminated and I finally understand how everything fits together. Naruhodo-san. Suppose what matters that we keep our eyes open. Keep moving forward. Even if that way sometimes seems dark. Amazing to think it's been just 2 months. We've grown so much. Oh my god, boys. We're not even at the trial yet. And I've already almost cried like twice. Sorry? I've what? Oh no. It was nothing. Unimportant. You know time you will leave London in the morning? Yes. I picked up my ticket earlier. I shall be leaving here at 4 a.m. She's not even gonna be in the trial with us? No, Suzuto. I see. Oh my god, that's in 5 hours! I see. Well, I'll escort you to the station. Absolutely not. Sorry? Do you realize where I couldn't possibly be letting you do that? A very important day ahead. You have a very important day ahead of you tomorrow. Gina's trial. Yeah, I know, but every word you utter will have the potential to determine Gina's fate. Let's get as much rest as possible. Even though, like me, I'm sure you will find it hard to sleep. But please, for me, do try. What's your final task? You mentioned one final task a moment ago. What do you mean? Oh my, I nearly forgot. Please, I want you to have this. What is that? Some huge bundle of documents. My notes from the case 2 months ago. The murder that was committed on the omnibus. Mr. McGilded case. Seems to me that this case of Mr. Windybank's murder, of which Gina is accused, is very much tied up with that omnibus case in a way that are not yet completely apparent. So I took the liberty of consolidating my writings about the case for you. That's so nice. Anything else she had to think about. Sudo-san still managed to do this. All neatly laid out for me in her beautiful handwriting. It was my pleasure. I can only hope that it will bolster your case tomorrow for Gina. Thank you so much, Suzuto-san. I'll do my best to use it wisely. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world. Well, that's extremely flattering. I'm sorry to say, I've been a complete failure. Sorry? I didn't quite catch what you said there. Oh, ignore me. I was just mumbling to myself. The only case notes have been added into the court record. Notes collated by Miss Suzuto about the McGilded case that we worked on 2 months ago. Well, it's getting rather late. I think you should go to bed now, Mr. Naruhodo-san. Finish packing up my things in my bedroom. Suzuto-san, I wish you the very best of luck tomorrow. Good night. Wait, there's something I need to say. Oh yeah! What? What was that? Secret technique of mine. Suzuto, shut down. Shut down. Please, I implore you. We have to voice our goodbyes. I won't be able to hold back my tears. Suzuto, no! No! No, please! Suzuto-san. Really had been a trying day. On our feet for hours, getting Gina to open up to us, and learning the truth about them, that nemesis of a case. Physically and mentally, I was exhausted, and yet the idea of sleep seemed impossible. I forced myself to close my eyes, as a cacophony of scenes of our lives here in London played through my mind. Eventually, my fatigue triumphed, and I fell into a deep sleep. April 17th. The small hours. St. Sydney's Hospital, Ward 3. Yes, I quite understand. That is a great weight off my mind. Sholmes. Rest assured, I shall put everything in place, exactly as we have discussed. Thank you so much. And an honor and a pleasure to be acquainted with you, Mr. Sholmes. On the contrary, the pleasure has been mine. Talking to Suzuto? I bid you farewell. Godspeed. My dear madam. To be continued. Ooh, I wonder what that was about. Wow. That really cleared up all of the problems I had with the first 3 sections.